Thailand has been plunged into deep mourning. Princess Bajrakitiyaba has passed away. The woman many considered the last hope of the royal family. But along with grief came fear. Who will continue the dynasty after Rama X? The king is aging. There is no official heir. And for the first time in decades, the future of the Thai throne hangs in uncertainty. But the real horror of this situation lies elsewhere. At first glance, the king does have a ready-made solution. 4 grown, educated sons living in America. Yet, instead of saving the centuries-old dynasty, their father banished them. Twice. So why won't the king bring his sons back even now when Thailand needs an heir? Why were 4 boys sent into a cruel exile? And why was their sister allowed to stay at the palace? Is it true that the exiled sons are finally coming home? And who will become the next king of Thailand? The rumours that the monarch's sons want to return didn't appear out of nowhere. After the crown princess fell into a coma, the king's second son, Vajrayasorn, flew to Thailand. The public greeted him with enormous interest. The prince behaved like an ideal candidate for the throne. He engaged in charity work, visited temples, and gave interviews to the press. But the king simply ignored him. No official audience ever took place. In the spring of 2025, the prince took drastic measures. He did something considered the highest act of apology and submission to one's father in Thai culture. Vajrayasorn voluntarily shaved his head and became a Buddhist monk, but the aging king remained unmoved. Vajrayasorn was made to remove his monastic robes, escorted to the airport, and sent back to New York. His father had not forgiven them, even 30 years after first throwing them out of the country as teenagers. After the princess's death, rumours of the son's return surged with new force. Because now this is no longer just a family drama. Now the future of the throne is at stake. Shortly, we will tell you how the brothers are waging a desperate fight right now for their return to the palace. But first, we need to understand why their father never forgave his own sons. To find the answers, we must go back to the night that forever split the royal family apart. In those years, the current Rama X was still the crown prince. He was trapped in a cold, family-arranged marriage with his cousin. It was in this marriage that Princess Bajrakitiyaba was born, the woman whose death has become a true national tragedy. But everything changed when the prince met a 16-year-old aspiring actress named Yuvadida. For 15 long years, she lived in the shadows as his mistress. She gave the prince 5 children, 4 sons and a daughter. But later, it would be her name that became the reason all 4 sons were banished. The prince was so consumed by her that he went against the will of his domineering mother, secured a divorce from his first wife, and officially married the former actress. They seemed like the perfect family, destined to rule the country. But this fairy tale lasted just 2 more years before turning into a nightmare. One morning, the people of Bangkok woke up to an entirely different reality. Across every street in the capital, on fences and the walls of buildings, unknown persons had plastered enormous posters. They showed the face of the future king's wife. Bold text declared that Yuvadida had entered into an intimate relationship with a 60-year-old Air Chief Marshal. The prince's fury was devastating. According to press reports, he stripped the alleged lover of all military ranks, and the prestigious title of Air Chief Marshal was officially bestowed as a public mockery upon the prince's beloved poodle, named Fu. The dog was fitted with a military uniform and began appearing at official receptions. But the absurd story of the poodle was merely the public shaming. The real punishment awaited not the marshal, and not even Yuvadida. It fell upon the children. Yuvadida and the 4 sons were stripped of their diplomatic passports and royal titles. They were ordered to leave Thailand forever. The strangest part of this exile was that the youngest child, Princess Sirivanavari, was kept at the palace. The 10-year-old girl was forcibly separated from her mother and brothers. The palace never gave an official explanation for this decision. Some said astrologers had declared the girl a lucky talisman of the dynasty. But for many years, a far darker reason was whispered behind closed doors. Rumors circulated that the 10-year-old daughter had accidentally revealed her mother's affairs to her father, triggering his rage. Either way, the girl remained in a gilded cage while her brothers were sent into the unknown. America greeted the former heirs to the throne with unforgiving harshness. The family found itself across the ocean, without royal support, without status, and without money. The contrast between the children's fates was staggering. While their sister grew up in the luxury of Bangkok, the brothers were learning to survive in ordinary American life. Years later, Vajrayesorn recalled those times in interviews. A teenager with the blood of Thai monarchs in his veins walked through American suburbs trying to sell vacuum cleaners. And on weekends, he stood under the blazing sun at car races, selling ordinary hot dogs to help the family make ends meet. According to Western press reports, the family's life was accompanied by constant psychological pressure. The palace hired private detectives who surveilled the exiles. It seemed as though someone back in Bangkok was waiting for them to break, to sink, and to confirm their own insignificance. But the palace's plan backfired. Yuvadida, a single mother who had endured public humiliation, achieved the impossible. Stranded in a foreign country without a penny and under constant surveillance, she single-handedly raised the men who many would call the worthiest contenders for the Thai throne decades later. The brothers gritted their teeth, took out student loans, and threw themselves into their studies. Years of hard work bore fruit. Juthavakara, the eldest son, became a successful aerospace engineer. Chakriwat, despite his own health struggles, trained as a doctor. Vacharawi built a career in finance. And the former hot dog vendor Vajrayesorn graduated from law school and became a sought-after attorney in New York. And this is where the story takes its most important turn. The boys who were once erased from the royal family grew into exactly the kind of men the Thai throne so desperately needs now. Throughout it all, the sons never publicly criticized their father. As they themselves have said, every year they wrote letters to the king. Every year they asked for a brief meeting. And for 27 consecutive years, those letters went unanswered. When in 2025 the monk and his brothers were expelled once again, the Western press was shocked by the monarch's cruelty. Inside Thailand itself, criticizing the king is strictly forbidden by law, so the country kept silent. Many believed the return fell through simply because the king had never forgiven his former wife and chose to punish her children to the bitter end. But journalists uncovered information pointing to another possible reason. It was found not in Bangkok, but in American documents. It turned out that one of the contenders for the throne, Vajrayesorn, was legally married to an American civil servant named Elisa Garifano, and they had children together. But why does this matter so much? It all comes down to the strict letter of the Thai Palace Law on Succession of 1924. This historic document is categorical. Any member of the royal family who marries a foreigner is permanently excluded from the line of succession. Journalists and experts agree that the very fact of this marriage may have become an insurmountable obstacle for the conservative palace. According to press reports, the prince attempted to finalize a divorce shortly before his trips to Thailand. But divorce proceedings in the United States can drag on for years, and clearing a path to the throne proved impossible to do quickly. And this is where Thailand stands today. Crown Princess Bajrakitiaba has passed away. The 4 accomplished eldest sons remain in exile, and the law is on the palace's side. Their sister, Princess Sirivanavari, is infinitely far from politics. She works as a successful fashion designer, produces clothing under her own brand, and prefers fashion shows in France to matters of state. The king has only one officially recognized son left, Prince Dipankorn. Persistent rumors have long circulated about the young man's health. They speak of serious developmental difficulties and autism. He rarely appears in public, struggles to interact with people, and, as many believe, is not ready to govern a nation of 70 million. But this story is not over yet. Today, it is Vajrasaurn who remains the central figure in this struggle. He continues to pursue a complex legal process in America in the hope of returning to his country. The exiled brothers are preparing for new attempts to reclaim their position, and we will almost certainly hear the next chapter of their fight for the throne before long. What do you think? Is the current succession crisis and the absence of a healthy heir the king's karma for exiling his own sons? Or is it simply a twist of fate? Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to the channel and see you next time.